My friend blamed me for destroying his relationship after I accidentally exposed that he'd been cheating on his girlfriend for almost a year. The crazy part is, I had absolutely no idea he was cheating. I just asked a normal question at the worst possible moment. I've known Chris since college. We met freshman year because we both showed up late to the same economics lecture and ended up sitting in the only 2 empty seats left in the back row. We became friends pretty quickly. Same sense of humor, both into sports, both broke most of the time. After graduation, we ended up living in the same city and kept hanging out pretty regularly. About 3 years ago, Chris started dating this girl named Megan. She was great, super friendly, always remembered little things about people, the kind of person who brings snacks to game nights and actually asks how your parents are doing. Everyone in our friend group liked her. Honestly, she was way more organized and responsible than Chris ever was. They moved in together after about a year. From the outside, everything looked normal. They posted vacation pictures, went to weddings together, hosted small dinners at their apartment. If anything, Chris always talked about how lucky he was to have her because she had a stable job while he was still figuring out his career. Then around last summer, Chris started acting a little different. At first, it was small stuff. He stopped bringing Megan to group hangouts as often. When we'd ask where she was, he'd say she was busy with work or visiting family. Sometimes he'd show up late and say he'd been out with coworkers. None of it felt weird enough to question. People get busy. But one thing I did notice was that he was suddenly very protective of his phone. Chris used to be the kind of guy who would toss his phone on the table without thinking about it. Now he kept it face down. If it buzzed, he'd check it immediately, and sometimes step outside to respond. I remember joking about it once. I said, "Man, you texting the president or something?" He laughed it off and said work had just been crazy. Again, I didn't think much of it. Fast forward to October. Our friend group planned a small birthday dinner for one of our buddies at a bar downtown. Nothing huge, maybe 8 or 9 of us. Chris texted the group chat saying he'd come, but Megan couldn't make it because she was visiting her sister that weekend. So Saturday night rolls around and we're all at this bar. Loud music, crowded tables, people squeezing past each other with drinks. Pretty normal weekend atmosphere. Chris shows up about 20 minutes late. But he's not alone. He walks in with this woman none of us have seen before. Blonde, maybe late 20s, dressed like she'd just come from a date night somewhere nicer than the bar we were in. Chris introduces her casually. "This is Rachel." He says she's a friend from work. We all say hello. She seems nice enough. Laughs at our jokes, asks people what they do, the usual small talk. Chris orders drinks for both of them and we all squeeze around this long table. For the first half hour, nothing feels off. But then I start noticing something. Chris and Rachel are sitting really close together. Not just co-workers sitting nearby,